Sometimes, when I close my eyes, I relive past events. I am transported next to the men and women who wrote history. I move through their lives like a ghost of the future. I am a messenger of memories, a link between our time and their world. My voice will guide you through these episodes to bring back their stories as they appeared to me. I am bathed in the gentle warmth of the sun. A fresh breeze whispers around me. Happily chirping birds can be heard in the distance. All I need is a good book to savour this perfect moment. Then suddenly the daydream is shattered. Around me, orders are shouted. My eyes open. I'm in the middle of a military medical camp located in the recess of a limestone quarry. It is morning. The men are all wearing white armbands decorated with a red cross over their uniforms. They are nurses. They are busy around the big main tent. That's where the wounded must be. Next to me, a tall man stands straight, looking deceptively calm. He is the head doctor of this advanced medical post. He is looking at the dirt road that leads to the quarry. I squint to get a better look. In the distance, a small cloud of dust is moving toward us. I can hear the sound of an engine. A car parks in front of us. And what a car! I have never seen anything like it, even in the exhibitions of photographers of the Great War to which I went. When viewed from the front, it is a classic car, but the back looks like a delivery van. It is grey. A red cross and a French flag have been hand-painted on the sheet metal. A woman and a man emerge from the vehicle smiling. The head doctor looks both delighted and extremely surprised. But above all, he cannot help but stare at the woman in her 50s who is walking toward him. She has blonde hair, slightly greying. She is of average height but dominates the officer with her presence. She hands him a paper that the doctor hastens to read. I crane my neck to read the paper as well. It is a pass dated May 2nd, 1915. It authorises Marie Curie and her mechanic Antoine Ragot to join the ambulances near the Apogee Ridge to carry out radiology missions. The doctor is stunned. Marie Curie is standing in front of him. He had heard about her work with the war wounded and had written to the Union des Femmes de France to have one of her X-ray machines sent to him. But he had never expected her to come here in person, only a few kilometers from the front and the war. Watching the doctor's enthusiasm, one would almost forget the injured, not Marie Curie, who gently urges him on. She wants to visit the camp. We head towards the enormous main tent. Right next to it, a much smaller tent is empty. Marie has seen it. With the agreement of the head doctor, she sends Ragot, her mechanic, to assemble the portable X-ray machine. So that's what was in the strange van, a device for taking X-rays. Marie and the doctor continue on their way. Finally they enter the big tent. I slip in after them. Hundreds of men are lying on stretchers with straw on the ground. The nurses are working around them to give them first aid, dressing gaping wounds and sewing up torn faces. An operating room is provided for the injured in a state of emergency, although most of them will be taken care of after their evacuation from the centre. Despite the care provided, many of the wounds are already infected. Marie silently observes this sad spectacle. Then finally she asks the head doctor and the non-commissioned officer to arrange visits. She wants to see all the patients present, even if it takes her a whole week. She is the only woman on the premises, and even though she has only been there for a few moments, she seems to be in charge of the camp. She returns immediately to see Mr. Rago. I walk behind her. The car is right next to the tent. Inside, he finished installing the device. It took him only 30 minutes. To guarantee its power supply, the X-ray machine is connected directly to a dynamo that is activated by the car's clutch pedal. What ingenuity! But should we expect anything less from a 2-time Nobel Prize winner? Marie darkens the tent as much as possible and makes a dark room with 2 blankets. The first patient has already arrived. He had received several shrapnel wounds in his calf 2 days earlier. The injury has started to get infected. Already in pain, he is afraid of being hurt more, so Marie reassures him. He won't feel anything, it's just like taking a simple photo. The patient is situated in his place. Marie sets the device with mastery and precision. A click. In the next moment, an image is developed in the improvised darkroom. The doctor has never seen such a miracle. He is amazed. So am I. Marie Curie has just taken an X-ray of a leg in a camp without electricity, less than 10 kilometers from the trenches. Thanks to her, the wounded man could be operated on safely as the projectiles stuck in his body were perfectly located. The patients passed by all day at a frantic pace. In total, 74 were X-rayed today. As the hours passed, and with Marie's help, the doctor went from observer to operator. The day is coming to an end. I leave Marie Curie. In the following days, she will return to Paris. Then she will return to the military hospitals and the fronts to send equipment, install them, and train personnel. Thanks to these installations, more than 1 million soldiers will be radiographed. I thought I would leave the war and return to the comfort of my room, but history was not finished with me yet. Now I am sitting in a car. I am already freezing. I have left a mild spring to find a cold winter evening. Snow is falling heavily. The car is nothing at all like Marie Curie's car. It is not even from the same era. It's an American military jeep. A thin canvas covers the roof of the car and barely prevents the snow from falling on us. On my left, the driver, an American GI. On my right, a young woman of mixed race. She is very small, not even 5 feet tall. Fortunately for her, she is wrapped up in her dark blue raincoat. Her head is buried in a black scarf made of large mesh. Unfortunately, I am not so lucky. The off-road car passes a sign, Bastogne. It stops in the big square of the city, next to a row of snow-covered trees. The woman gets out of the car and thanks the driver. I accompany her. She goes to a house located on a small street overlooking the square. Inside, her father welcomes her. It is warm inside. The delicious smell of soup emanates from the kitchen. She goes in and helps herself. On the table, a newspaper bears the date of the day. It is Saturday, December the 16th, 1944. The young woman, exhausted, is not very talkative. She visited a friend in a nearby village and had difficulty getting home. There was no traffic in the afternoon. I feel her numbing fatigue. A few days earlier, she had returned from Louvain, where she is a student nurse, to spend the holidays with her father and brother. They are the only family she has. She hardly knew her birth mother, a Congolese native. At the age of 3, their destinies were torn apart. She is Augusta Chiwy. In a few hours, she will become the guardian angel of American soldiers. A few hours ago, the German army began its last major offensive on Belgian territory. However, for the moment, Augusta knows nothing about it. She goes to bed. I open my eyes again, and a week has passed. It's December the 24th. Bastogne should be celebrating, but the streets I walk are empty. The houses are abandoned. The city has been under attack for 5 days by the Germans and totally besieged since the 21st. I walk alongside Augusta. To our right, the rubble of a building is buried under the snow. Augusta walks fast. Fear is churning in her stomach. She keeps looking up to the sky, as do I. We are afraid of the bombs. We go to a mansion. Inside, it has been transformed into a makeshift hospital. About 100 wounded American soldiers are crammed in. With the city surrounded, they could not be evacuated elsewhere. The smell is appalling, a smell of rancid decay. But hygiene is no longer the priority. In addition, there is a lack of medical equipment, water, and electricity. Augusta had volunteered with the US Army 3 days earlier to help soldiers wounded in battle or by the bombing. At her side is another nurse, Renée Lemaire. She also comes from Bastogne and returned for the vacation. The two women have become friends. Augusta goes straight to work. She goes to the bedside of a soldier who has had his hand severely cut by a shrapnel grenade. She washes his wound, removes the remaining shrapnel, and then sews him up quickly. I look at her, impressed by her courage. Her gestures are precise and assured. She brightens the dreadful clinic with her bright smile. Her very presence is comforting. She finds another patient. He lost his leg below the knee 2 days ago. Augusta has to change his dressing. Next to her, Renée is giving antibacterial medicine to another injured man. The two nurses take the opportunity to talk. They talk about their future projects. This morning, Renée recovered a white silk parachute that had been used for a food drop by plane. She will make a beautiful dress for her wedding as soon as she can. Augusta has finished the bandage. She decided to get some fresh air, and I go with her. In front of the house, a group of American GIs are smoking. The regimental medical officer, Jack Pryor, is with them. He comes up to us and offers a glass of champagne in his house. After all, it's Christmas Eve. The house is next to the first aid station. The doctor uncorks the bottle and serves the small group, and he makes a toast to Augusta and Renée, the two angels of Bastogne. Outside, a plane's engine purrs. A new supply drop, perhaps. In the middle of the night, it seems strange to me. I don't have time to think more as a thunderous noise bursts my eardrums. We are violently thrown to the ground. My ears are ringing and I can't hear anything. I come to my senses with difficulty. I stand up, stunned by the impact. Around me, Augusta and the doctor do the same. The dust is suffocating. All the windows have been blown out. Jack rushes out the door. I follow in his wake. At the door, my heart stops. The makeshift clinic is a pile of rubble. A bomb has blown it away. It is a scene of carnage, crushed bodies, torn off limbs. Soldiers are already rushing to clear the rubble and save the survivors. I turn around. Augusta stands on the doorstep of Jack's house and watches the tragedy. A tear slides down her cheek. She thinks of all the wounded men she had cared for. She thinks of Renee. She was just finishing her shift. She will not see her again. Augusta stayed until the end of the fighting in Bastogne to take care of the soldiers. Then, finally, Renee was returned to her parents, wrapped in her beautiful silk parachute. 2 anonymous heroines, 2 angels of Bastogne. When I open my eyes again, I am back in my room. I'm ready to resume the role that was given to me. I'm prepared to bring to light the next visions of the past that will haunt me. Has this story touched you? Then it's time to go to the Land of Memory territory to immerse yourself in this adventure in the very spot where it took place. The itinerary Women During the Conflicts is to be discovered on the website landofmemory.eu. To visit Fort Flémal in Liège, Nurses of Bastogne Memorial, and the Crête des Apagés.